Beyond all things is the Seneca. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Seneca. All cruelty springs from weakness. Seneca. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Lucius Annaeus. Religion is regarded by the common people as true, by the wise as false, and by rulers as useful. Seneca. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Lucius Annaeus. You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire. Seneca. As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters. Seneca. If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. Seneca. Hang on to your youthful enthusiasms. You'll be able to use them better when you're older. Seneca. It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable. Seneca. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. Seneca. It is not that we have so little time, but that we lose so much. The life we receive is not short, but we make it so. We are not ill-provided, but use what we have wastefully. Seneca. If you really want to escape the things that harass you, what you're needing is not to be in a different place, but to be a different person. Seneca. Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. Seneca. Until we have begun to go without them, we fail to realize how unnecessary many things are. We've been using them not because we needed them, but because we had them. Seneca. He who is brave is free. Seneca. What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears. Seneca. No man was ever wise by chance. Seneca. They lose the day in expectation of the night, and the night in fear of the dawn. Seneca. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Seneca. He suffers more than necessary who suffers before it is necessary. Seneca. I shall never be ashamed of citing a bad author if the line is good. Seneca. Only time can heal what reason cannot. Seneca. If you live in harmony with nature, you will never be poor. If you live according what others think, you will never be rich. Seneca. Timidi causa state necessari. Ignorance is the cause of fear. Seneca. Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power. Seneca. Enjoy present pleasures in such a way as not to injure future ones. Seneca. Life is like a play. It's not the length, but the excellence of the acting that matters. Seneca. As long as you live, keep learning how to live. Seneca. Wealth is the slave of a wise man, the master of a fool. Seneca. People are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy. Seneca. The sun also shines on the wicked. Seneca. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Seneca. Leisure without books is death and burial of a man alive. Seneca. Often a very old man has no other proof of his long life than his age. Seneca. A sword never kills anybody. It is a tool in the killer's hand. Seneca. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. Seneca. Life is long if you know how to use it. Seneca. It is not the man who has too little that is poor, but the one who hankers after more. Seneca. We learn not in the school, but in life. Seneca. There is no genius without a touch of madness. Seneca. A gift consists not in what is done or given, but in the intention of the giver or doer. Seneca. Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart. Seneca. Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. Seneca. But life is very short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future. Seneca. While we wait for life, life passes. Seneca. Fire tests gold, suffering tests brave men. Seneca. To wish to be well is a part of becoming well. Seneca. Withdraw into yourself as far as you can. Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. The process is mutual, for men learn while they teach. Seneca. I am not born for one corner, the whole world is my native land. Seneca. Regard a friend as loyal, and you will make him loyal. Seneca. It does not matter how many books you have, but how good the books are which you have. Seneca. It is difficult to bring people to goodness with lessons, but it is easy to do so by example. Seneca. He who spares the wicked injures the good. Seneca. It's not because things are difficult that we dare not venture. It's because we dare not venture that they are difficult. Seneca. It is a rough road that leads to the heights of greatness. Seneca. You should live in such a way that there is nothing which you could not as easily tell your enemy as keep to yourself. Seneca. Nothing is burdensome if taken lightly, and nothing need arouse one's irritation so long as one doesn't make it bigger than it is by getting irritated. Seneca. It is more civilized to make fun of life than to bewail it. Seneca. To be everywhere is to be nowhere. Seneca. Whatever can happen at any time can happen today. Seneca. He who has injured thee was either stronger or weaker than thee. If weaker, spare him; if stronger, spare thyself. Seneca. The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable. Seneca. Nothing, to my way of thinking, is a better proof of a well-ordered mind than a man's ability to stop just where he is and pass some time in his own company. Seneca. Of this one thing make sure against your dying day, that your faults die before you do. Seneca. To win true freedom you must be a slave to philosophy. Seneca. The part of life we really live is small, for all the rest of existence is not life, but merely time. Seneca. What progress, you ask, have I made? I have begun to be a friend to myself. Seneca. There is no enjoying the possession of anything valuable, unless one has someone to share it with. Seneca. Beyond all things is the Seneca. The best ideas are common property. Seneca. No man is crushed by misfortune unless he has first been deceived by prosperity. Seneca. To be always fortunate and to pass through life with a soul that has never known sorrow is to be ignorant of one half of nature. Seneca. It is quality rather than quantity that matters. Seneca. It takes the whole of life to learn how to live, and what will perhaps make you wonder more, it takes the whole of life to learn how to die. Seneca. But when you are looking on anyone as a friend, when you do not trust him as you trust yourself, you are making a grave mistake, and have failed to grasp sufficiently the full force of true friendship. Seneca. What is harder than rock? What is softer than water? Yet hard rocks are hollowed out by soft water. Seneca. We cease to be so angry once we cease to be so hopeful. Seneca. For many men, the acquisition of wealth does not end their troubles, it only changes them. Seneca. Everyone prefers belief to the exercise of judgment. Seneca. The willing, destiny guides them, the unwilling, destiny drags them. Seneca. No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. Seneca. The final hour when we cease to exist does not itself bring death, it merely of itself completes the death process. We reach death at that moment, but we have been a long time on the way. Seneca. If we could be satisfied with anything, we should have been satisfied long ago. Seneca. The difficulty comes from our lack of confidence. Seneca. Of all people, only those are at leisure who make time for philosophy. Only those are really alive, for they not only keep a good watch over their own lifetimes, but they annex every age to theirs. Seneca. Philosophy calls for simple living, not for doing penance, and the simple way of life need not be a crude one. Seneca. When a person spends all his time in foreign travel, he ends by having many acquaintances, but no friends. Seneca. What fortune has made yours is not your own. Seneca.